So the approach I'm gonna take with this particular mini video is a lesson. So I'm gonna show you what to do in an introduction to a lesson, an opener, and kind of get into how you would get in, do the body of the lesson and conclude it. So this idea comes from the research-based bilingual instruction, the impact of multiple modalities in a K-12 English learner classroom. Of course, that's the book that I wrote. So it comes from chapter 4, called Bodily Kinesthetic Intelligence, using body movement with their peers. So I'm going to kind of introduce it to you. I'm not going to read too much. I know that kind of gets boring. And kind of talk you through how you would do a little lesson. While the previous chapter emphasized spatial intelligence as a modality for learning for ELs, this chapter will focus on kinesthetic modalities as a method of learning English. This chapter will show how ELs use body movement to learn English. They will be improvising, acting, and using their hands, feet, eyes, etc. to practice using their language skills. So by using their bodies and voices to dramatize the characters' words and actions, children can gain a sense of how interactions among the characters shape the events described in the story. So if you take a play like Romeo and Juliet, you can introduce them with a couple of words as an opener for the lesson, and then let them Google it. Let them have fun with it. Give them about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe longer, because we all know that we've been taught that openers take 10 minutes, right? They kind of introduce things. Give multilingual learners a little bit more time, maybe 10, 15 minutes, to help play around with the words. Have them Google it, have them define it, have them find pictures of it, and have them, sort of explore it. And then you can get into the play's background, who all the characters are. And again, you don't want to overwhelm them as you're teaching the play and as you're teaching what's the events of the play. You do want to give them a little bit at a time. And then you can, again, vocabulary is critical for multilingual learners. I can't emphasize that enough. Just by teaching them the vocabulary of a story or play or whatever content you're teaching them will help them in understanding the concepts you're trying to teach them. So give them as much front loading with vocabulary. And then, for this particular lesson, it could be all about vocabulary. Give them time to look up the words, Google them, draw pictures, use them in sentences, and then you can close out the lesson by giving them, a couple of words to define on their own, using their own words, not the textbook definitions, because the more they use their own words to understand what the word means, the better they're going to remember it. So I just want to give you a little bit of research on this. According to Greenfeder and Brulette, 2013, when children improvise scenes from stories, they immediately bring their own experiences to bear. Dramatization helps students better understand the plot and the feelings of characters, even if they do not initially comprehend all the words. So, you always want to try to give them as much information as possible in the beginning, for whatever it is you're trying to teach them. In other words, if you're teaching them vocabulary, give them the definition of it, and then let them off. Let them Google, let them internet. Go online and look up how these words are used, images and whatnot. Let them draw pictures. And again, at the end of the lesson, you just want to give them, a little quiz on one of the words that they were exposed to, and let them write the definitions in 1 word or 2 words or 3 words. You don't want to overwhelm them, but that's sort of a good way of sort of opening a story or a play. So you can adapt that to anything you want, but I do think it's a great way to sort of open things up for multilingual learners. And I wanted to add one more thing, that it's also a great way, improvising. Let them act out the scenes. Let them rewrite the scenes of the play or the story that you're trying to teach them and let them act it out. That's also very helpful. And you can also do that as a closing activity as well. It's really great. Anyway, thank you very much. It's free to subscribe. I'm not in this for anything but sharing knowledge with all of you. So please subscribe, share, and if you want to know more, let me know. Or subscribe. That'll let me know. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.